What a win for Toronto's Souvankham Thammavongsa. She is this year's Scotiabank Giller Prize winner for her collection of short stories, How to Pronounce Knife. And she joins us with more now on her $100,000 prize and her reaction. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It hasn't really sunken in. I haven't really had time to process it. I'm just really happy to be here and talking to you.
And what an unusual Giller Prize ceremony itself. Normally, it is the highlight of the Canadian lit scene with a great big gala in Toronto. And you were, was it your apartment, your home, and somebody knocks on the door and brings you the Giller Prize?
Definitely. But I kind of like that because I was in the comfort of my own place. I could hold on a little bit longer to the quiet, which as a writer I really value. Um, I I was, surprised. I had it felt like a long hallway to walk down in order to open the door. And I
Were
was
you
so
listening
afraid
before
that I was
to
gonna
to the
trip.
sound of the elevator? Like, is there somebody coming or whatever? Could it be for me? Now, you talk about quiet in your process of writing. Tell me about how that helps you now in the pandemic itself. Does it help you, or does it hinder you, that quarantine, that sense?
Well, it drives me to reread works that I love, to engage with the voices that sound familiar to me before the pandemic and right now. It feels like a compass to what is normal to reread things.
You say things that sound familiar. The title of your short story collection, How to Pronounce Knife, comes from an experience you had you came here as a refugee.
Yes, my parents are from Laos and they built a raft out of bamboo to get to a refugee camp in Thailand where I was born. And when we came to this country, I was often alone with the books I read. When I didn't know how to pronounce the word knife, and I took it to my father to ask him, how do you pronounce this? And he said, knife. He said it with certainty and confidence, and I took that same attitude to school, but I learned that I was wrong. But I wasn't ashamed or sad or humiliated. I knew that I was alone with the language.
Because English is a very tough language to learn. How do you hope that your stories transform other people in this country who are maybe going through the same thing that you did?
Often when we hear about immigrants and refugees, they are stories that are often very sad and tragic, or we only hear about them when they become a success. But sometimes a person's life is valuable too because they're trying to get to the next minute, the next day, the next year, and they should be at the center of the story. And it should feature characters who aren't just sad or successful. It should also feature characters who feel ungrateful or ferocious or angry or, who are brilliant at the work that they do, and to feature that work at the center of a page, I think is very valuable.
Right, not just having, quote unquote, refugee stories or immigrant stories. They are just stories, and stories that we need to tell.
Right.
You help others tell their stories as well. You're an instructor at Laurier in Brantford.
That's right. The students that I get to teach have very moving stories. I encourage them to tell them, and I just tell them to to put it on the page and to be honest and to be raw and to share it.
Well, Souvankham, thank you so much for sharing your time today with us. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and congratulations again.
A pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.